and a happy Thursday to everyone. I just wanted to find out if you guys are doing well. The question of the day is very simple. Very simple, but okay, if it's your first time to pass through this channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe, to make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. But to my regular, welcome. Let's have a chat, please. Let's have a chat. The day has been such an interesting one. Actually, so since morning, very early in the morning, I saw Gambako talking about Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. He said Chiwenga is going to succeed Mnangagwa. Good to see you, Moses and Nessa, please. Good to see you. And thank you for coming through. Everyone, I'm asking you to make sure that you join in the conversation. Let's look at this succession plan that people are busy talking about. All right, so a question of the day is very simple. I just want to ask you a question, because all of us, we aspire to succeed in life, correct? So let's say you wake up tomorrow and be the billionaire in town. Good to see you, Rom. Brian, good to see you. Please just drop your location in the interim, please. Let's just say you wake up tomorrow as a billionaire in town in Harare, Thank you, G. You wake up as a billionaire in town. Let's just say you're Masiwa tomorrow, because obviously all of us, we aspire to be successful. And then, but then while you are there on top, or you want to be a politician, and then while you're there on top, you're excited about your new role or your new adventure, and all of a sudden people begin to share your nudes. And I'm referring to those that are always spending their time sharing their nudes with people around. They don't think about the consequences that has on their lives in future. Because all of us want to be successful, but let me tell you, the moment you get on top, people always want to find anything they can to bring you down or to humiliate you. So I want you to ask yourself those questions. I can remember the likes of Donald Trump, when he was campaigning, and he still is fighting to be the president of America again. I also even men that I know in South Africa, Malusi Gigaba as well, who later on, disappear from politics because his shenanigans were out there. We have Mohadi, and we know what happened with Mohadi. He disappeared, but all of a sudden we saw him back in the camp. And all I'm just trying to tell you is beware of what you share with people on the internet. Be very careful and be mindful, because let me tell you, history has a tendency of torturing your future if you're not a wise person. You don't share nudes with anybody. Respect yourself if you want everyone to respect you. Okay, so we are sitting here with a lot going on, literally a lot going on. Did you guys hear that? The members of parliament for ZANU-PF, they want to go to America to discuss about sanctions. So Newsday reported ZANU-PF official members of parliament MPs want to fly to the United States to lobby Washington to lift sanctions first imposed on Zimbabwe after the fast-track land reform program at the turn of the millennium. They want to discuss about the lifting of sanctions. And Dr. Walter Muzembe responded immediately, but he was there. The sanctions were there since 1980. Before 1980, actually, Smith was also sanctioned because he did not agree with Britain in many ways. But the sanctions that came in on Zimbabwe immediately after the farmers were kicked out. But Dr. Walter Muzembe said MPs like to keep themselves busy, especially those that were once part of the executive. There's a method to the removal of sanctions. It is certainly not this approach. They will come back with the same laundry list we all know from the turn of the new millennium. Heavily paid lobbyists have failed to help the executive itself. An earlier victim of sanctions has failed to have its own removed since 1959. The region SADC News has also failed. The answer lies elsewhere. It lies with you and me. We have the answer for this sanction to be lifted, and we all know why. As long as we are still discussing about a sham election, I think we are far away to have these sanctions removed, because those are some of the conditions. But let's see. Let them approach America. Let's see what happens. What will be the outcome of our meeting? What we can only do is we can only watch and wait to talk about it. And Dario Chanakra said, I'm curious to know the psychological makeup of the ZANU-PF leaders, MPs included. Do they not see that the solution lies elsewhere, or it's a mass of following blindly with the desire not to upset the executive? Group think maybe. I agree with that. It's bootlicking that is at play. Everyone knows why we are in this predicament, and we can all work together to make sure that this is done immediately. Now, we are back to business when we are talking about the issue of the succession plan that is people are busy discussing. Let me tell you one thing about Zimbabwe, which is actually a pandemic, is that there's never been transparency, especially from politicians. There's never been transparency. For that reason, people speculate. Journalists also, they've moved from investigative journalism to literally opinionatism journalism. They only write their opinions sometimes because they don't know what else to write. If they hear about something, because they're afraid to investigate, they proceed to just give out their own opinion. You've seen how sometimes Newsworks reports they're incredible writers, amazing writers, Newsworks, but you always see how they have to give opinions sometimes because people are really, really, really afraid. I've seen people come and say my hair is just a beautiful hair. It's not short hair, it's my hair. That's my hair. So I just tied it at the back. Thank you, it's my natural hair. Thank you very much, I appreciate you. So you need to take a listen to Rejoice. Rejoice did an incredible interview with HSTV, and he was asked about Mr. Mnangagwa. What do you think will be his action about the succession plan? Let's take a listen to what he had to say regarding that before I proceed with my own reviews, please. What are you saying about the succession plan of Mr. Mnangagwa? Please take a listen.
On benefit, President Emmerson Mnangagwa is the last term president in a ZANU-PF that has its own matrix. What do you foresee?
Look, it's said that he has accepted the second term. I mean, if he was magnanimous, like I said of Nelson Mandela, he would have said, guys, I participated in the transition from the First to the Second Republic, and I've learned my lessons, and I want to leave you guys with my experience, with your experience, to establish a new political arrangement.
Thank you.
The kind of opportunity that he missed in 2017, when there was so much moral and political support, both local, regionally, and internationally. Now, what is going to happen now in his last term? Hopefully, he's not going to want to change the constitution again for a third term. You can't put it past nationalist president. We have to keep one eye open. He's going to be retracting now into his own space, a space of fear and distrust and mistrust, because he's now saying, whoever is coming in, are they going to be able to protect my interests? So that introspection can translate into deeper authoritarianism. So it is a dangerous space that we are in now, a space where he might not trust anybody. So by not trusting anybody, he will want to have legislation that tightens what he would call the loose ends, so that even his successors, it might even be difficult to even talk about successors because you don't want to groom competition if you're a nationalist. So to me, Blessed, it's not it's not worth celebrating that he's on his last term. I wish that he had given up and allowed a new generation in ZANU-PF to take over. But this space that he has brought himself in, I think it's going to get him to retract more and more into an authoritarian mode that is going to make life more and more difficult for the citizens of this country.
Now that his re-election was also challenged and was so labeled a sham election by close allies, SADC, by the AU, and traditionally also the EU and the Commonwealth. But does this make him a weak president?
Look, he knows that when you want to claim legitimacy, you need to have an overwhelming support that is undisputed. And he knows that by tinkering around with various pieces of legislation, the Patriotic Act, PVO bill and all that, he was narrowing the democratic space and setting himself up for criticism. He knows that. He knows that by allowing the judiciary and the system to make it more difficult for political competition, it was creating more and more suspicion. It's not like he doesn't know that his election was going to be disputed. Even ZEC itself understood, they know that there is good reason why this election is disputed. Right? So it's going to make him very uncomfortable. And for the first time, blessed, SADC has set back, maybe for the second time after 2008, to say, do we really want to be associated with this? They've been asking questions. And that makes him weak, not only locally but regionally. I mean, how do you sit in the SADC presidential team and feel yourself as a peer, as an equal, when you know that your colleagues are suspicious of you?
You said they don't have souls.
Unfortunately, maybe they don't have souls, but look, I think the humanity in them, I see that, Chisano was here, Ramaphosa was here, but you can sense his body language. You can sense that his body language is not very confident. But what I'm saying that just because SADC is gone out of its way for the first time and say, we are not so sure that this election the process is legitimate. We are questioning your credibility around the table of honorable men. But most of them are not necessarily honorable. But they can lay claim to that our elections were not disputed by SADC. So that makes him a wee bit weaker. And if he had good advisors, they would say to him, why don't you, before you start gallivanting around the region, waving your flag of victory, why don't you go back home and sit down with the guys and say, okay, guys, what is it that you want me to do? This is what humility and magnanimity means in leadership. But then, like I said, that because of that retractive, stance that he's going to take, it's not going to get any better for him. He needs to face the elephant in the room. My position has been discredited by international observers, and I am sure there are alternatives. What is it that I can do? Ask, and he's going to get his reply.
All right, so you can hear very clear. Rejoice is very clear. One thing that I love about Rejoice is, and I wish the president Emmerson Mnangagwa had such kind of advisors. He's very thorough. He is very intelligent. He's a wise man. You heard him saying it's going to be tricky because the president Emmerson Mnangagwa, if you have to choose a successor, that person must have the best interest in his own staff, because he's the richest man in town. So for that reason, he knows that his hands are almost in every corner of what's going on in the country. So whoever is going to succeed him, that person must definitely have the best interest. Otherwise, without those kind of conditions, it's going to be very hard. And now people are asking, we are looking at 2 vice presidents, but we know, Mohad, we know is the 2nd vice president. People rarely talk about him. But again, on Mohad, I think it's all boils down to character. And like I've said to you before, ask it a simple question. One thing that most human beings don't realize is that you may have the money in your bank account. You may look very beautiful or gorgeous, whatever, handsome. But if you lack morals and character, you're going to lose it just like that. Mohadi, it seems like he doesn't exist. People really talk about him, because of his resume. What happened before with his sexual harassment scandals. Nobody want to talk about him. They think like he's just a useless man. And I'm telling you facts. That's what happens if you don't behave well. There will come a time when no one will respect you. That's why you need to respect yourself first. If you want people to respect you. So, for me, all I know, it really boils down to selfishness. Why are we in this position? It's because people are very selfish in the country. Let's take a look and say, what is the definition of selfish? Because I was crazy. I can be curious sometimes. And also, I have a sense of humor too. So I wanted to check, what is the definition of selfish? So of a person, which is actually of a person or action or motive lacking consideration for other people, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. What are the similar words? Egocentric and egotistic, and also egotistical. These are similar words. A selfish man, or a selfish woman, or a selfish political party. So that's ZANU-PF. It's a selfish political party. You saw how they were gallivanting, and I was like, honestly, I was shocked when I looked during the time of this, wedding. Somebody may ask the question and said, we were expecting them to even invite people in the opposition party. It's a wedding, right? Everyone can come to a wedding. Even your enemies can come to a wedding, especially, considering the position that they held in society. Whether we like it or not, even during this sham election, Chamisa, according to them, they said he literally got almost 1.9 million. Those are a lot of Zimbabwean people. It means he really represents a very huge fraction in the country. But when you disregard the presence of such people, it's because of hatred. Now, this is why people respect South Africa. You saw last time when they were going, it was at a funeral, and you saw Ramaphosa was greeting all these opposition parties. They were all laughing and laughed together. The only politicians when they're in parliament, but all their family, they are one. They understand where they came from. But Zimbabwe is different. But let me have a look at what the Newswalk said. They said family political rapprochement. So they're referring to ZANU-PF in general. You saw how Mnangagwa were busy dancing with Grace, on the dance floor. And last time we remember when they were calling each other names. And I'm afraid of such relationships. I'm terrified because I value words more than anything else. I know when you speak words out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. It means you really mean what you say, right? You mean it. You remember what they were calling each other, but they were busy dancing on the dance floor. So they say Zimbabwean President Mnangagwa and First Lady Auxillia and Mnangagwa has mended their broken and bitterness relations with the former President Robert Mugabe's widow Grace and her family. They have had an acrimonious political fallout over Mugabe's succession in 2017 and his burial in 2019. Allegations are Mugabe wanted Sekra Mai to succeed him. That's why there was a coup that happened. These are simply allegations. They said the two rival families' face publicly appeared together at Mnangagwa's inauguration on the 4th of September. You saw Grace, she came through with a daughter, and people are saying because they're trying to protect their interests as well. And on Saturday at Chiwenga's wedding, they met once again, and Mnangagwa extended an olive branch to Grace yet again. Auxillia and Grace, whose relations were completely broken, even had some time to dance together at a wedding. I was also flabbergasted with the fact that President had to rope in the politics in the midst of a wedding. That's why people are speculating. People are like, what are they all about? Now, all of a sudden, it's like they're one people. You saw Grace, she was looking absolutely stunning, beautiful as ever. The wife was Chiwenga, she was also stunning, and they began to dance on the dance. They were dancing in Rumba, Hindemoni, Hindemoni. You remember the song? I saw them dancing, smiling, and they were literally happy. But now the question is, the last time when there was a coup, it was an issue of succession. Remember, now we are back again to the very same thing of succession. Now it's between, Mr. Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. It's Chiwenga who is having this extravagant wedding, and also he's calling diplomacy, even also foreign, diplomacy to come through to Zim. And people are like, is he preparing his way to the throne? But according to Rejoice, that person should definitely have the interest of President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Without that, it's going to be very hard. So there's also allegations of his son, on the other hand, who is also fighting to also ascend to the throne. You heard that he's actually at the top leader for the CIOs. That is Emmerson Mnangagwa Jr., also married to beautiful two women, And so where are we now? Where are we now? Is we are trying so hard to find a way to bring balance in that political space. And I'm asking questions. So what happens with my support for my candidate, Nelson Chamisa? What happened? You have also seen Kasukwire lately. He's busy back on the campaign trail. He's campaigning, and you heard him questioning how if Mr. Mnangagwa will be able to balance, considering his illegitimacy in Zimbabwe. He said, how is he going to even sit in the chair of SADC and be a leader? It's going to be hard, and we'll look at that story a bit later. It's shocking. I'm like, okay, when I'm seeing them dancing and drinking and they're all happy, and I'm like, the whole of Zimbabwe is to be shut. So these bodies can actually live their best life. The rest of the people's feelings are completely muted so that a few guys can have the best life. It's all about them, and everyone is watching. Now, again, I agree with Zenzele that there's definitely going to be a bit of a drama next year. Zenzele said it's going to be drama because the two-thirds majority is almost closer, and we are watching closely because in February, the endorsement is coming up. Did you actually see, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, did you see the list of what's going to happen in February? What chaos on that list. double candidates of Triple C. They are also ZANU-PF. They were double candidates of independent individuals. And some people were saying, oh, we know ZANU-PF also, sponsored all these people so that there can be chaos even in the February upcoming endorsement. I don't call that an election, in my opinion, because we have sat down with all this sham drama, and we know the drama continues. It will never end. It's a drama after drama and after drama. Anyone who's expecting an election, I'm not expecting any election. So for me, I'm just saying, as far as I know, Mr. Mnangagwa, the president, is definitely going to be looking out for his own personal interests. So if it is Chiwenga, I guess this is why he gave such an interesting resume for him. Remember, he spoke about how they've been working for 46 years together. And don't forget, I remember when I listened to that was an interview that Mutambala had with Trevor Ngcume. He made it clear that the last time he wanted to go in to visit President Robert Mugabe, there was actually Mr. Mnangagwa. At that time, he was working at the security, system for Mugabe and also Chiwenga, that they actually blocked him. So he had to force himself in. And when he went to meet Mr. Mugabe, the president, the ex-president Robert Mugabe, the late, he said, oh, you talk about these two are overzealous. And they're also very protective. And he was calling them plotters. He said they're simply plotters. They were plotting their way to the throne. These were words from Mutambara. So now we are waiting and see where to from now, because there's always been plotting after plotting, backbiting, malice, everyone wants to be at the top. You have seen a lot of things happening lately regarding the people that affiliated themselves with Chiwenga. One of them was Bila, who they alleged that he said Mr. Mnangagwa was on his way out and Chiwenga was going to take over the throne, and for that reason he was literally fired as the minister of commerce, if I'm not mistaken, because it's also out there on the news day. And you remember Terence as well, who spoke eloquently, said that Chamisa was going to beat President Emerson Mnangagwa. Again, people are alleging that he was also affiliating himself with Chiwenga. He was also sent to prison. Terence is Terence Mukubera. He's also in. I think I'm forgetting about his surname. I'm bad with those surnames, so please bear with me. But his name is Terence. He's also serving his 3-year jail term after the fraud or corruption allegations. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. I can't stand where people are simply not trusting each other. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like when you sleep, you're gonna have to open your other eye. Like, I don't know what people are gonna do. And some people are like, we expect a Triple C as well to go back in and talk. And I'm like, so we can rob this toxicity in the next generation? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Zimbabwe that is coming is a Zimbabwe of truth, where we're going to look squarely Nelson Chamisa and say, when he becomes the president, because he will, he's too young. He's still very young. You're definitely going to be the president one day. He has the charisma, he has the character, he has the people who support him and who love him. And for that reason, eventually life will give. Time will give, and he will become the president of Zimbabwe. And now, honestly, I'm going to whisper in his eye, said, Your Excellency, you're wrong. You're wrong. We supported you then on the campaign trail, but here you've done wrong, and we will call you out. You know why? Because we cannot carry on with a society that people live in fear. We must have freedom of speech. We must always exalt freedom. When you say freedom, we're not talking about freedom of you guys fight with a gun and say that you free us from that colonization. No, we are talking of freedom, where we are able to express ourselves, to share ideas, and also our ideas must be considered in society. Not whenever you speak truth to power, you have to be eliminated. Life doesn't work like that. You must face jail term. Life should not work like that, because together we need to build a Zimbabwe that we know is best for all of us, notwithstanding which political party you're affiliating with. With that being said, we are moving on to gun control. I'm shocked and flabbergasted. I did not know that Zimbabwe is now like pumped with guns, like the way that it is. Because in Bulawayo, a 39-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of another man during a snooker game in Filabusi on Christmas Day. Zimbabwe Republic Police confirmed the arrest of Technology Mutombeni for fatally shooting Wilson Malunga, 21, and then he passed on. Unbelievable. We do not want America to interfere with our issues, but you're turning out to be America. It's one thing, your morals are degrading daily. We saw with some of the videos that are being shared on social media. Today, the gun is all over the place. Zimbabwe is scared to move around with a gun. Can I tell you, I did not know how a gun looks like. I only saw a gun last year. One of my friends is my client literally, but also a friend of mine. He had a gun in his car. So I saw it. I was like, what's that? I said, can I see? He said, but please don't. And he showed me the gun. He was literally teaching me. I hate guns. Like I always said, if my husband can ever have a gun, I'm scared. I'm terrified. I don't like guns. But where we are now is so many people are owning guns in Zimbabwe. So many. People can shoot each other while they play snooker. Can show you something is wrong. Tukenda kumawere. Before you know it, it's going to be chaos everywhere. Can it be like South Africa? Because almost everyone is owning a gun. I'm telling you, my friend, that one is also South African. That had a gun. He's South African, but he said it's licensed. I know it's licensed, but he had a gun. And I'm asking him, what the hell are you moving a gun with? I've been staying here for nearly 20 years. I've never had no problem. I've never fought with anybody. I don't need a gun to protect myself. But you know, he had a gun. And this is where we are leading to. A person is shooting while they are playing snooker. Can show you something's wrong. The country irikwenda kumawere, nyika irikwenda kumawere. Now we look at corruption as well. Zambia, allegedly, there's one of great politician in Zambia, very close to Hichilema, was caught. He literally, allegations are saying he reportedly received almost 200,000 US dollars from a Chinese investor thought to be a bribe, and immediately he was fired. And people asking questions, what are we doing in Zimbabwe? The news works is reporting, what are we doing with all these politicians that are being caught, committing crime? What are we doing with them? Because they're getting away with murder. And I was laughing because Linda Masera also confirmed when she was having like an interview with Ola. She mentioned that the problem in Zimbabwe is ZAC is doing absolutely nothing. And people have been complaining. You saw Mfazema as well in parliament complaining the same thing, that what is ZAC doing? It's this whole, highly esteemed, portfolio that they should look out for the interests of the country, but in pursuit of every corrupt individual or politician. But no, nothing much is doing. You can see Vanoku in importer motor, there's no lifestyle audit. They've been caught. Gold mafia came through. Nothing happened. The centric report that we talk about all the time, where so many top politicians were also implicated in that. One of them is Kudakta Gwere, was caught on financial illicit flows. We're also very linked again from the men of the top, which is also the president, Emerson Mnangagwa, was also implicated in the centric report. You heard that on the day of the coup, on the night of the coup, Robert Mugabe's daughter's son, the young son, Chatunga, right? Chatunga received almost 2 million rands on the night of the coup here in South Africa. It was also caught by investigators. But what is that doing? Because they're walking up and down, they're shopping, they're wearing gold watches, they're pouring alcohol, they are living all their best life, and no one is doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But in Zambia, they were fired and still waiting for many. Remember that dude, what's his name? The young boy that was actually a MP in Nempudzia. What is his name? What's Vuzi Jena? What's Wajga Jena? Sorry, Wajga. There was also Vuzi Jena, right? This is Wajga Jena. Remember, Wajga Jena was also caught again and corruption of the 5 million US dollars. There's also people have been asking Mr. Orbit, they call him Mr. Shrek. Where is our 15 billion Maranga diamond dollars that disappear as well? But nothing happened. And everyone is still asking, what is Dennis Zak doing? What are they doing? So people begin to respond. Whenever they talk of corruption, Zimbabweans will speak. And then Kui 53 said, our resignation alone is not enough. You must hand himself over to police because accepting a blame is a criminal offense. And I know immediately Hichilema will definitely going to call him out to be arrested immediately. Hichilema, I know that I've got a word. I know he will do that. But we're still waiting to see what's happening in Amaraland. We are desperate to see what's going to happen. And Ivan said, I pity all of you just making allegations against some public officials without a shred of evidence. But the evidence is there because Zambian paper reported And then Moses said, unfortunately, that Hichilema is reported by the Herald to have urged the disgraced minister to stay put as MP, though, because Herald has got an agenda to literally tarnish Hichilema because of Mumba, because they're alleging that Mumba and Hichilema were working together just to humiliate the regime after the report of the sparse sham election. And also, J. Eli said Zimbabwe is a banana republic. Everything is the other way around. It's a banana republic. Resignation only isn't enough. You should be arrested and return the money. Agreed. The money must come back. And then if it's possible, but Chinese are just corrupt people. Like I don't have a trade for them, but everywhere you always hear that the Chinese have paid someone. Corruption. And this is a sad news. But the last time when I checked, I heard that the law now does not really enforce you to pay lobola, but not for me, not for me. The laws in Zimbabwe now, you're not forced to pay lobola. So if you want to pay lobola, you can, but if you don't want, but let me tell you, our culture, there is no way you're going to take someone's child and just think that, the government say we're not going to pay lobola. While they pay lobola for their children, they tell you not to pay lobola, so that when that child die in your house, they're going to come and whoop all your cows and if someone dies in your house and you have a pay lobola, they'll come after you and take more. But then you said no end. This is what they're trying to push you. Do not buy into that. If you're a man, please work hard. It does not matter how much little you have. Go in and do things right. Don't ever cut corners. In my world, in my father's house, in my life, I'm not gonna go for free. The man must come down. We are not playing games. We want Mombe. We want Mombe. So very sad story, really. A guy has been arrested. Apparently he actually stole the money at work. So Dandaro Online said a shop worker was arrested while paying lobola using stolen money on Christmas Day. This is quite heartbreaking. I'm so ashamed. I feel for him. After robbing 195,000 from his employer Mohammed Musa in Harare on the 21st of December. So Chamunarwa Umuvuti, 40 years old, was arrested. Oh, he's my age. Oh, Shem, he was very late from a Zimbabwean from a Zimbabwean perspective. They expected to marry earlier on, so he and me we are like brother and sister. No, I'm not gonna go for free. It doesn't work like that. No, you put the money down, brother. Money down. Mob is not tikas, farm. So Chamuna Rwamu 40 was arrested after paying almost 4,426,000 to the Mupande family in Mfungwe, of which 300,500 was recovered. Oh, this is sad, honestly. Another US 186,100 was recovered at Muvuti's house in Chitungwiza. Oh my gosh, it's sad. He has been convicted in court and will be sentenced today. Oh, my heart is breaking for him, honestly. But first of all, why was also, I want to ask you a question. Why was this whole shop keep the money in the shop? 195,000. Okay, that's Mohammed Musa because it's a wholesale. So definitely they do sell in quantities. So maybe it makes a lot of sense. But honestly, I would say, why would they keep such a lot of money? They should deposit. But the question is, where to? Where are they going to deposit? Because the banks aren't functioning, Where? It's the banks aren't functioning. How are they going to be keeping the money? That's where the problem is, but it's a very sad story. Honestly, for me, if you are a single person and you want to get married, I'm urging you to do what you can. Do not rob the bank. A lot of people borrow money, especially South Africa. They've got that culture. It's foolishness. Any marriage that you start on a platform of borrowing, it will never last. Because remember, it's not about how much you pay, it's more to do with the relationship. It's just bringing families together. Trust me, families will respect you when you approach them innocently and honestly and earnestly. They will understand, that you really want to do the right thing, you want to take their child, and they will respect you, the fact that you're coming and do things the right way. Because others, until they leave. So if you approach families and say, I want to do things right, they will respect you for that. So please don't rob, don't borrow money to pay lobola. Do not. Take the little that you have and do what you can. They will respect you. that at least you try to do the right thing. So seriously, I'm sending love and light to this guy and say, I wish God can have mercy on you. Next time, don't steal, just do the right thing. Work for your money and do what you can afford. There's no need, you don't have to rob the bank. It's foolishness. You must play it safe. Now moving on. I know this is a family matter, and because I'm a family person, very much family oriented. Guys, I'm going to ask you to like the live because I need to push algorithm. It's going to help you to push algorithm. Please like the live. I know there's quite a number of people here. Please do me a favor and do so. Okay, before you actually leave. All right, family life. I'm looking at it. The situation that we're going to look at now is more to do with family members who just turn up. If you're married, so this happened in Nigeria. Apparently, the guys are they just got married. And then a family member turned up. But the wife was never told by the husband that the cousin was coming. So I want to take a listen to what's going on right here. Because I know it happens even in Zimbabwe. It's context, it happens every time. I've heard it many times. I've heard people complaining. And let's take a listen, please, of what's going on right here.
A practical, challenging character. You are posing as a huge challenge to your husband. Oh my God! And you think you're driving a right, huh? You think obviously you have a right. Oh yeah, you got a right. Yeah, you got a right, huh? But don't trespass your right, right? Madam, you've actually trespassed your right. I'm telling you this because where you failed it woefully is you don't know how to coordinate our family with marriage. You need to learn, buddy. If you don't learn, you're gonna learn the hard way, man. Oh, come on, I'm not like that. You're challenging your husband and challenging your husband sister, man. That's full 11 squad. In fact, it's 22 squad because it's nearly 2 now, man. Well, go on then. Come on, man. Woman, sit your ass down, boy, and listen. Okay, go to your mom. Let your mom teach you how to combine family and marriage. Because you don't marry your husband alone. You marry your husband and your husband's family. Get it in your head. Your husband's sibling coming into the house, you block up the road and you say, because he didn't call you. Yeah, he didn't call. She should have called. Yes, it's a mistake. She should have called. But you're not the one to address that issue, boy. Come on, man. You don't address that. Your husband got to address it. And remember how you talk to your husband about it also matters. If you're sounding authoritative, you don't sound authoritative, man. Come on, man. You're scaring us. See, we're contemplating taking the vow, but you're scaring, boy. You're scaring us. Come on, man. You're challenging him, telling him what you've done better in the marriage. Come on, man. This place is your home, man. You're in your house. Obviously, it can house you as much as you want it to house you, man. If you don't take time, it's going to be someone else's house in the next minute. Come on, man. The next minute your feet are outside, it becomes someone else's house. Come on. You go to another man's house and you put up this attitude, man. Your husband is a cool-headed man. Trust me. He's trying to balance you. You put him out of the roof. Come on, man. Learn. If you don't learn, you learn the hard way. Come on, man. Leave cheesy alone. Cheesy is not your problem, man. You're cheesy's problem. I tell you this, woman. Come on. So, your husband's sister came temporarily just to, pay you guys a visit. You can't even accommodate her and you're here shouting like cheesy. Come on, man. Sit your ass down and talk to yourself. You're challenging your husband too much. I can see that. And the funniest part, you said the kitchen is your space. Oh my God. Other women want to leave the kitchen. You're going back into the kitchen, man. Okay, anyway, after the kitchen is yours room, according to one-time president. Oh my God. Come on, woman, listen, yeah? You've already put too much a challenge to your husband, yeah? And that emotions you're showing there, come on, it's normal. Yeah, it's normal. Women are softer when it comes to emotions, yeah? So that's all right. But I wish you can convert your ability to show emotions to a strength, you know what I mean? So that you can stand tall and be peacemaker in your house, you know what I mean? Let me tell you, woman, yeah? I hope you don't destroy the man before it destroys your husband, okay? Because it's going to be disastrous, yeah? Come on, man. You're the husband of a house. Let me tell you, yeah? You better be careful, yeah? Be careful, man. You see that your wife, huh? Bruv, I'm not sure you've got a wife. Thank God.
All right, so these issues are very prevalent in Zimbabwean context. A lot. I've had many people calling me. Some they are furious, some are screaming, some are shouting. But I'm going to give you my own view on that one. My opinion is very clear. I'm a family-oriented person. What you must remember is when you get married to a person, you're not marrying the man, you are marrying the entire family. Or a man is also not marrying the woman, is marrying the entire family. We must remember that our culture is the problem. It's before we talk about individuals who get married, we must also look at our culture and our upbringing. Our upbringing actually glorifies a lot of toxicity more than love. So a toxic man or a toxic woman in the family members get more respected than the people that are doing right. Your toxic aunt in the family, that toxic uncle that can scream at everybody, be doing disrespectful. You always find people say, no, but leave Sekuru and Tango paying out. Go send in a Sekuru. No, they can't call Sekuru out, but they want to call those people that are doing right out. It's us who have literally, nested a very toxic way of living. I also don't think it's wise to say you can just come in the house, without even phoning. For me, I'm not saying that it's a must you should, but I think the courtesy and respect is I can't just go to the house because I have to phone the person. So for me, if I want to travel to any family of mine, if the person is married, I'm going to tell the person I'm going to phone your wife first and I'll speak to the wife. I'm going to come to your house so that the person know. I can't just come and then bump this, because it's my family member's house, I can just do as I please. No, I must be respectful. I'll pick up the phone and ask, okay, if you guys are available, because they may say I'm not available, maybe because I'm a professional. Because someone may be available, but they're not emotionally available. You may see me on the balcony, you're like, but Rumbe, I saw you on the balcony. I'm like, but I'm not emotionally available for you. I may be available. Because in Indrimuna, I is sensitive. One day, I traveled to Zimbabwe some time ago. And my other brother was actually, preparing for his marriage. And the girlfriend, she prepared this beautiful dinner. She booked the place for me because I was supposed to meet up with her and the husband. And when I travel, I just kind of have some scuffle with someone and I did not like the energy that I was carrying. So at that time, I just told them that I'm not going to come for the dinner. The person was very upset and I had to apologize for that I'm very sorry that you had prepared this dinner for me, but I did not turn up. But the reason is because I knew that the energy I was carrying wasn't great for me to meet up with them. If I'm meeting a person, I need to make sure that I'm there available fully and I'm giving you my undivided attention. So if I know that, okay, the energy I'm carrying is not great, I don't want to go in and act like I'm angry with that other person, I'll cancel the appointment. That's me. All the time I cancel. Because whenever I meet a person, I need to make sure that I'm available fully. Or I don't want to mess up your day. So all I'm saying is that not every time people say that I'm not available, what they mean is they're not available emotionally. And you must never take it personal. They're just not available emotionally. Even though you know that they were there. You know they were there. But in this situation here, I actually think that there's something wrong between the relationship of the two. Because if your husband had to speak to his cousin, to come to his house while you are there as a wife, it says a lot about your communication. Because there is no man who would just say to his family member, come in, without approaching to his wife. Except when there's already issues there between the two. Then it's like, I don't think I can, I don't think I can. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I can. I'm trying to tell you, Guti, you must learn to communicate properly. I always talk to my family and say, I know us women by nature, we like to be moody. By nature, if we're angry about something, we say, I'm going to be moody and you will know me or you will see that I'm very angry. No, you don't do that. God gave you a mouth for a reason, to speak. But you need also to speak respectfully. You can always, if you know that things are not well, you are heating up, just don't say anything at all. Pray about it, take your time or walk or go somewhere and do something, until you calm down. And then you have to speak in a respectful manner. And I know that people are always going to hear you because, life in general, it has got a lot of pressures. At work, men are facing pressure. We as women are facing pressure. So if we are always throwing tantrums and fight with one another, we will never find a common ground. So in it, I think communication is very crucial. But I've always said, if you want relationships to work for you, when you are dating someone, don't rush for marriage. When you are dating, talk about everything. Talk about family life. Talk about his family members. Is he taking care of his family members? What about his parents? Remember, mom and daddy, mommies and daddies, both sides are simply a blessing. So mama can come anytime, daddy can come whenever they want to. I'll explain to you why. It's because parents are a blessing. You can't compare with your cousin or your other. Parents are a blessing. Children, if this man or woman has got kids, they belong to the family. They belong. That is their home. Must always find that home conducive for them to actually live. Parents, because they're a blessing, the parents have the right to come when they want to, respectively, so they can also still communicate. But cousins and all other sisters and whatever, they are individuals that also have their own purpose. I've always speak to my family and say, I want to tell you because I love you. I don't want you to be a trailer wherever I go. I want you to be strong individually, so that you don't call me with your challenges. I don't have a problem when you face a problem to say, hey, you know what, please just help me if you can, I will. But that can't be for a lifetime, and that can't be all the time. You know why? Because you're going to be a pandemic and a toxicity or toxic person in my marriage. We need to grow a very strong community if you want things to work for us. Otherwise, we'll keep on complaining, arguing, fight all the time, even for things that are just so stupid. Like, you always want to go to people's houses. I don't like to be in people's houses. I hate it. So you know what I do? I always find ways to work so that I can have what I want when I want it, or what I need when I need it. That's me. I hate being in people's houses. I don't like it. And people know I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Learn to work for yourself. Do not depend on people all the time. Especially when you're after 18. Work. Find something to do. Ask if you want help. They must give you the tools. But you can't get a monthly support. Every month you're angry with your family members that in the diaspora. Listen, people in the diaspora are suffering. People in the diaspora are suffering. They're just not telling you. Money, we don't for sure. Money is difficult to get. We work for the money. All of us across the board, we work for the money. So I'm asking you to always extend grace and mercy if you want help. But all I can say is with the woman there, the way she was talking to her husband, absolutely wrong. Number one, women, men, stop issue of recording each other and pull out your personal lives to social media. It's stupid. It's not wisdom. Because when you take your issues to social media, people are going to say all manner of things. But in the end, it boils down to the both of y'all sorting out your own issues at home. You rather find men and women of wisdom, pull them out. Please, you can reach out to me if I've got a challenge. You want to get hold of my numbers, you can go to Facebook, you see them. Send me a WhatsApp. Reach out to me, I'll give you right counsel. Don't pull your information to social media. Don't just screaming and shout all over the place, sharing with families, saying things that are the ways that are stupid. Use wisdom. Let me just tell you, we need each other as families. Some of your family members may not be there yet, but trust me, life will turn, tables will turn, and God will change their lives. We need each other. Life is like a ball, it rolls. But in the same breath, we must learn to be respectful, to communicate with understanding, that treat people the way they want to be treated. Empathy is crucial and important. It's very, very important. Be a person who has empathy and have sympathy as well. Be understanding. Always put in someone else's shoes if you want to understand how to behave or how to react or how to act in a situation. I'm not going to come and tell you to say, hate your family members. I'll tell you, families, we need each other. But do not take an advantage of people. When they open their doors in love, please make sure that you receive that love and be respectful. We need each other. Don't carry issues. Whether somewhere things don't go well, everywhere. Don't be that kind of a family member. Be someone who understands that they may be going through something. If you are in a house where there's a husband and a wife, they may be going through something that you don't even know. But when you come, they don't think that they should stop living and now attending to you and your issues. You must learn to have empathy and understand that, no, I'm a single person. If I get into a family where people are married, I must be in a position to say, you know what, one day I'll be married too. So let me respect these people to enjoy their marriage, because I know one day I'll be married and I want to enjoy life the same. I've always said to my son, he's only 14, I'm like, boy, don't you dare mess up my time, because you know why? You are 14 and I'm 40 years old. My time is running out. You still have a long way to go. So we are all living in different worlds. Understand? Give me the time and also give you the time. That's how we live. Let's learn to live in peace. Parents, husband and wife, respect each other, honor one another. It's a biblical command. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And wives, submit yourself to the leadership of a man. You are not a man. A man will always be a leader, and you always be a follower. It cannot change. You can't change it today. It is always, and it always going to be. Children are always be yours. Never forget that, and be there for them because they need you. Parents are a blessing. You must always give to your parents. Get this right. Your mother can't get nothing. You know, my mother-in-law is a problem. Listen, she's not called a mother-in-law. She's called a mother. Get this right. She's your mom. The moment you marry someone, either in your family, your father automatically gets a son. So my dad is going to get a son if I marry someone. And the family automatically gets a daughter. And I am their daughter. And trust me, she may not be perfect because even my parents were never perfect. Neither am I going to be perfect because even them, they're also not perfect. You understand? Yes. So get that right. You're always going to be a daughter. You are not a daughter-in-law. All those scripts are nonsense. You are a daughter, a child. This is why they come to your family and pay lobola. You understand me? Families come together and you leave your family and you walk with this man because you said, I'm going to start my life, and you go in there, start building together, which means you are belonging to a new family. And while you get into that new family, you must understand they are not perfect people because they are human. Human beings are bound to make mistakes. That's how we are created. So you must understand that she's your mom. She may not, at first, trust me, sometimes it's not going to be easy because you are just starting to get to know each other. Some parents are already prepared to accept you. Some of them may struggle because you are a different person to accept you. But you must always keep yourself in a humility form, because then that's the only way they'll get to understand who you are. I'm teaching you things that will help you now or in the future. These are your parents, and it's a must that you have to be a blessing to them. It is a must that you must always be a blessing to them. You don't wait for mama to say, I don't have sugar. It's your responsibility, if you have got with your husband, to say, we need to make sure mama has got sugar every month. We need to make sure. It's your responsibility, because parents are blessers. It's a blessing. They are not a black text. Parents are being given because they are a blessing. There's a difference. Parents and your sister and cousins are different. Parents are blessers. They will pronounce a blessing, and you can carry a blessing for a lifetime. So don't be foolish. Don't lose that blessing. There's a reason why we have parents in life. They are blessers. Sometimes extended family can be tricky because they are people. When you visit people's house, please be respectful. And I'm also saying to this woman, she must also understand that, yes, they may have made a mistake. The family member is there. Sit down and have rules. Give them the rules in black and white. Let me say this. Please, give people rules in black and white. I'm telling you facts. Write the rules down in black. Don't assume that they will automatically know how you're doing things in your house. Give them rules in black and white. We must learn to build a culture of black and white in our society, because as black people say, no, but I think they know what they're doing. Most of people don't know what they're doing. You'll be surprised. Give them rules. Okay, in this house, we live like this. We sit around the table and we meal together. We pray together. We wake up in the morning, and after this, we're going to pray. We go and exercise in our house. We're going to let it be known in black and white when they visit. Because you know what? At least you can always go back to the rules and say, but we've told you we've got the rules in the house, because you are also living by the very same rules. It's not giving someone a rule that you're not living by. You must live by the same rules. It will make it easier. Learn to communicate via written records. Write a letter, type a letter in black and white. Nyora pasi, nyora pasi. People know that these are the rules in this house. This and that is not allowed. This is accepted in this one. This is not accepted in this one. Because when I know Pinda, Rumbi does not believe in you can go and sleep and come back whenever you want. And I'll tell you a story. When I stayed with someone else, was a brother to me. I did not tell him about the rules. So I can't blame him. So he said to me, my girlfriend is passing, is coming from Cape Town, is going to Botswana. So would you mind if she can pass through here and, maybe she can just pass through for the weekend? And I was, yep, I mean, that's my brother's girlfriend. I don't have a problem. I was like, no, she can come through because I'm here. I mean, she can be with me. It's not a big deal. Let her pass through. I said, okay, fair play. And that woman came through in the house. Fair, we're fine. And me, I'm busy playing my music and I'm dancing and all that. We're just having a good time. We are cooking and all. Good, fair play. So now comes to the issue of sleeping, and me, I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the visa because the visa is here. I'm leaving them. They go outside, they go around, gallivanting and do their thing. They're in love. Why would I want to disturb them? So later on, the issue of sleeping, I'm waiting for the person. Because my brothers give me the autonomy to talk about these issues because I'm trying to teach. I'm waiting for the person, and I'm waiting for the person. Where's the person coming? It was going to 10, 11, 12. And you know what? Eventually I was like, no, I'm going to go and sleep. I can't keep on waiting here, I went and then I went to sleep. The woman did not come, which means she slept in the bedroom where my brother was. The following morning, you're talking about a church girl. You're talking about a woman who's a preacher, You're talking about a preacher. Waking up in the oh Jesus Christ, I'm like, I'm losing my mind, because I'm losing my mind, and I'm like, Holy Spirit, give me the strength because I can't, I just cannot, First and foremost, I don't believe in sleeping wherever you can sleep and come back home. But I did not tell him, so I can't blame him. I did not tell him the rules. But he eventually said, I'm so sorry, Sissy. What I did was wrong. Because you know what? People, normalize the abnormal. They normalize the abnormal. I was like, listen, don't bring no demons in this. Don't bring no demons. I'm here to chase away the devil. I don't want devils to come in my space. But what I was trying to say is, if you don't give people rules, they will always going to cross the line. Because they don't know. They came from wherever they are and they live in a certain way, and you believe in a certain way, so things can go wrong. So family, it's very important for us to make sure that we lay out the rules. We make people know in black and white, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, so that it's easier for them to also adapt or to also respect. If they can tell you, I can't take your rules, it's not going to work for me. But I've learned rules really work. Black and white stuff. If it's possible, write emails to everyone. Have a memo. Everyone must have an email. In 2023 now, 2023, we can now create emails for everybody so that there's going to be a family memo. You can type hello, hello. If you can be here online, it means you can have access to your phone. Create emails, send an email to every family member. These are the rules for the family. You are not allowed to do certain things. You can't come home whenever you want to. I grew up in a family where you were not coming back after 6. My dad will come and mow you, And it's not up to today. Have the rules in black and white. It's very, very important when it comes to family. And it's you're going to enjoy family relationships. With that being said, I'm going to land right here. And I love you so much. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. I'll see you a little bit later. I'm coming back around 9. So we're going to have another, conversation again. I love you so much. And I hope I've been a blessing to you this afternoon. I've told you before, the goal really is to change your lives. So we can talk about politics, but we also would have to chip in and talk really about family life while we move forward. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.